Good evening. I'm Karen Bell, Television Program Manager at Northern California Public Media. Tonight, I invite you to sit back, relax, and open up your favorite bottle of wine for this special episode of Bay Area Bountiful. This evening, NorCal Public Media celebrates Women in Wine. Join us as we visit women making history in the wine industry, from a small family vineyard in Sonoma to legendary wineries in Sonoma and Napa counties. From growers to winemakers to executives, these remarkable women will be showcased over the next 90 minutes exclusively for you, our public television audience. And I want to thank you for your continued support of NorCal Public Media. Because of viewers like you, we can provide local stories every month on our program, Bay Area Bountiful.
Bay Area Bountiful is about agriculture. It's about feeding us. It's about land and water. It's about the health of our planet. It's about stories that matter. Bay Area Bountiful. Cultivate, celebrate, connect.
Bay Area Bountiful is made possible in part by Rocky the free-range chicken and Rosie the original organic chicken. The Sonoma County Agricultural Preservation and Open Space District, Made Local Magazine and Sonoma County Go Local, and through the generous support of Sonoma Water.
We start our show tonight in the town of Sonoma with psychotherapist Victoria Leff, who planted her first vineyard a few years ago and is now enjoying her third harvest of Sauvignon Blanc and Pinot Noir. Take a look.
Several years ago, a piece of property adjacent to my house became available for a really good price, and we decided, in some ways quite naively, that'd be really fun to put in a hobby vineyard. And we were super lucky because a neighbor of ours by the name of Stephen Pavey volunteered to sort of mentor us and walk us through the process. And not only did he sort of choose to mentor us and walk us through the process, he took 3 other households under his wing and decided to teach us all how to make wine. And it's been a really wonderful thing. We formed this collective where everybody helps everybody. But I'll never forget my first harvest. It was really magical.
Magically, all these people at 6:30 in the morning showed up, and it was still somewhat dark.
And we all went down there, and we're down there, and it was a beautiful morning. And as we're, picking the grapes, the sun comes up over the valley. And it really kind of was sort of magical. It was lovely. Well, it's just satisfying. It's like, one, it's the fruits of, all your hard work, and they're so pretty, and you come and you do it with bunches of other people, and so it's communal, and you work and accomplish something, but you're also being with the grapes and being with the folks.
You want to go down ahead of me?
Yeah.
Bill's on the, yeah. We'll knock off.
I want to get Lalo out here now.
Yeah.
Do an extra.
Our vineyard's named Litonaya. People sometimes have a hard time pronouncing it, but it's Litonaya. And we thought long and hard about what we were going to name this vineyard. We really wanted to have some meaning, went back and forth about, what are we going to name it? And so one day I was out in the vineyard very early on. This was before we ever harvested. And I found this little tiny nest. And we didn't know what kind of nest was this. And we realized that after some investigation, that it was more than likely a hummingbird nest. And we have many, many hummingbirds up here on the hill, and they dart around, and they're very, very active. hummingbird in the Miwok language, because the Miwok Indians are the Indians that settled on Sonoma Mountain, which is where our vineyard is. And the Miwok word for hummingbird, actually darting hummingbird, is Litonaya. So once we found that out, we thought, aha, that's it. And so we're Litonaya Vineyards, after the darting hummingbirds in Miwok.
And this year is our 4th year. It's friends who have interest in making the wine that come out and help you harvest. So it's very chatty, and it's very social. And you'll see, this year there was multi-generations that were out there picking. So my son was there, and his girlfriend was there, and then longtime friends and people from different walks of life. Really very, very satisfying. And it's especially satisfying in the vineyard. People are assigned different jobs. So there's a crew that sort of takes the bins of grapes up to the winery.
Very juicy grapes. I am woman.
I am woman here.
At the end of it all, there's these bins that are filled with these beautiful grapes. We put them into the truck takes them to the winery, we unload them, then we take them, and the first thing that they do is they want to weigh them, because they want to know how rich we are and how much our bounty is. And after weighing them, we destem them. So we take the grapes and we put in the destemmer. Stephen, it's a machine that Stephen has. He takes it to all the different houses. He's very generous with that. The difference between the Pinot and the Sauvignon Blanc is with the Pinot, you do not press off that same day. You want the skins to enhance the flavor. With Sauvignon Blanc, you want the juice that same day, and so you press off. The Sauvignon Blanc takes, it's a longer day because you're doing more with the Sauvignon Blanc. So you take it, you destem it, you put it through the machine, then you put it into the wine press.
We call that free run.
Then you have it, then you put it into the stainless steel container, and it's done and makes for a very long day. Yep, I see it.
Is it full?
No, it's not full.
Frequently we'll, at some point in time after that, take a big break and come have a nice lunch where everybody sits down and we eat and we drink and we talk and we laugh and we carry on. The lunch may be very, very quick depending on how much work you have to do.
There's something about food and wine and people coming together that is what people are here for. And certainly you can, have good food and not drink wine, but the whole thing of just sort of being together and eating and drinking and talking is a really nice thing. And it's not since I lived in Italy that I've had the experience of being able to have 3 and 4 hour lunches. But we've been able to do that as part of this winemaking group.
Wow, what an interesting story. I really enjoyed seeing regular people learning how to make wine at home, even if they've never done it before. If you were inspired by that story, but maybe don't have a vineyard in your own backyard, Tina Vieira is here to share some exciting wine experiences that you can enjoy with a simple phone call or text. Tina?
Yes, thank you, Karen. All right. These wonderful women in the wine industry are not only great at what they do, they're generous with their support. So they've donated some great items for you to take a look at today. And if you can make a donation, you can take one of these home for yourself. It's great stuff, great experiences. Take a look at this video. Thank you for tuning in to Northern California Public Media and our Emmy Award-winning series, Bay Area Bountiful, made possible by the generous support of viewers like you. Just for NorCal Public Media viewers, donated by the wineries you are learning about today, incredible wine country experiences can be yours if you can make a donation today to support public media in the Bay Area. Call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate. Quantities of these great thank you gifts are limited, so call or go online right away if you'd like to receive them. At the $72 donor level, or make 12 payments of $6 a month, you can receive the Sonoma County Wine Growers Gift Package. The package includes a cap, a blanket, and 2 wine openers, all displaying the Sonoma County Wine Growers and Sustainably Farmed Grapes artwork. Wear your pride of the fine wine growers and sustainable practices of our area. For a $120 pledge, 12 payments of just $10 a month, you can take your choice of a tasting experience at Dutton Goldfield Estate Winery or at Selby Winery. At Dutton Goldfield in western Sonoma County, the Discovery Seated Tasting Experience for 2 includes a selection of current release whites and reds or the single vineyard Pinot Noir experience. Or you might choose the Selby Winery Tasting for 2, hosted Thursdays through Mondays at their tasting room right off the square in beautiful downtown Healdsburg. If you can pledge $240 today, that's 12 payments of just $20 a month, you have the choice of 2 unique experiences for 4 guests. You can choose a tasting experience for 4 people at Brendel Napa Valley's new tasting room, located in downtown Napa for you and 3 guests. The tasting experience will be led by Estate Director and experienced sommelier Cassandra Felix. Also at the $240 pledge level, you can choose the Sabrage experience for 4 people at Breathless Sparkling Wine in Healdsburg. The traditional art of sabrage, using an authentic saber to open a bottle of sparkling wine, is a special ceremony you will love as much as the wines beautifully made in the traditional méthode champenoise style. And if you are able to pledge $360 today, that's 12 payments of $30 a month, you can choose the Garden Tour and Tasting with winemaker Megan Zobeck at Burgess Cellars in Napa. Enjoy a tour of the garden and learn about regenerative farming practices, followed by a tasting experience led by the winemaker for you and 3 guests. And one last, very special gift if you are able to pledge $840 today, 12 payments of $70 a month, you will receive a 6-month membership in the Brendel Napa Valley Brendel Block Wine Club. You'll receive all of their club member benefits, including 2 bottles of premium Napa Valley wine delivered to you each month. These are all great choices, but there's more. At every pledge level, whether you give $72 or you go all the way up and get that great wine club membership at the $840 level, we have a bonus gift for you. You will receive a 1-year subscription to PBS Passport streaming service. Stream your favorite PBS shows from Masterpiece, NewsHour, Finding Your Roots, and more, as well as original NorCal Public Media productions. Supplies are limited, and the first donors to call or pledge online will receive these gifts. So pledge now to get these great experiences. Choose some for yourself or get some for family and friends. Remember to call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation today, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate to learn more about these items and pledge your support. Okay, so make your donation today at 1-800-287-2722 or go to norcalpublicmedia.org and click on Donate. Karen is back with another woman in the wine industry who works with several wineries, and they'll tell you some more about it. Karen?
Thank you, Tina. Now we're joined with Falana Bouvier, the president of Domain Estates. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
So you're here to offer us some pledge gifts, and I thank you so much for your support of public media. Tell me about your experience of being the president of the winery.
Well, it's an exciting journey. It's taken me a long time to get here, and I'm excited for this chapter of my life. Mm-hmm. I've been in the wine industry for 20 years, and so it's an honor and a pleasure to serve as the president of this great company and to work alongside amazing winemakers and our estate directors and all the people that make up our company.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And so I understand you have an organization of Be the Change. Could you tell me more about that?
Yes, Be the Change is a digital job fair that was created last year. We've had 2 job fairs, and it was created in the space to increase diversity in the wine communities and also beer and spirits. And we partnered with a company named Brazen that provided a digital platform where people can apply for a job right from their home. And it was almost like speed dating in a way, where an applicant can go online and you go onto these different booths, and it was a virtual experience where you can interview for the jobs that you want, and it was actually focused on the wine and spirit industry.
Oh, that's great. And you have another organization, that you're working on. Is it Live It, Be It?
Dream It, Live It.
Dream It, Live It.
Dream It, Live It
Okay.
is really just a principle, right? I look at my own boss, who's phenomenal, Carlton McCoy Jr., one of the most compassionate leaders of our time, who, is a dream it, live it kind of professional, right? He works extremely hard, very diligent, and has created one of the most, a beautiful company that I'm honored to serve as his president. We have winemakers that are extremely passionate and believe in what they do, and we support that, and they're living Dream It, Live It, right, every day, as well as, the organizations that we partner with, which is to provide a voice for their ideas and to empower them, and we partner with organizations to ensure that there is diversity in the wine industry.
That is wonderful. I love hearing that. So you brought us some wonderful gifts. Why don't you go ahead and tell me some of the gifts that you brought here today?
Absolutely. We're excited to pledge 3 experiences. One is the very soon to be open, and it will be opened actually, I think, by the time in December, will be the Brendel Wine Bar, which is located in downtown Napa, across the street from the Archer Hotel. Brendel is a new wine brand that was created. Our brand director is Cassandra Felix, and the wines are made creatively through our winemakers as an outlet to try the esoteric wine varieties of the valley. And it's going to be awesome because the Brendel Wine Bar will be very hip. It will be the hottest place in town. We're going to do a little food, some fantastic music.
Oh, nice.
And we're excited to share this experience with the lucky winners.
Okay, and I understand you have a subscription service as well?
Yep. Also, we have, if you go to brendelwines.com, we have a 6-month subscription that we will be gifting, which you'll be able to try all the exciting wines and what they're about, and actually experience the gifting process, which is very customized and personal. One of my favorites is the Young Leon, which is the sparkling rosé. It's fantastic. And so I'm very excited people will love receiving these wines.
Oh, and I think you have one more gift. Tell me really quickly, what's the last gift?
Yeah, Burgess Wine Cellars. We have a Burgess Wine Cellars regenerative farming experience led by the famous Megan Zobek. She is the leader of regenerative farming and biodynamic farming, and she will be leading guests of 4 into this experience at Burgess, which will be celebrating its 60th anniversary next year.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for those fabulous gifts, Falana.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you.
Now let's learn more about Falana's work and the wineries of Domain Estates in this next story. Domain Estates is located in downtown St. Helena. Here, Falana Bouvier leads her marketing team in representing some of the finest labels in Napa County and across the world.
I don't know how I did it, to be honest. It's crazy that I kind of, you put your head down and you work so hard. And from 17, I started out in the restaurant industry. And next thing you know, I looked up and I was 35 years old running a distributor. From 17 to 35, it just went by so quick because I took every chance I could to get ahead. And then from 35 to now where I'm at today, 10 years later, I'm the president for Domain Estates. I mean, it's amazing. It's been an amazing ride. Domain Estates is a fine wine sales and marketing organization. Domain Estates represents legacy-owned wineries that have a lot of history behind them. Brendel is a project that Carlton McCoy created, and he wanted to create a wine brand that was fun for the winemakers. And what makes Brendel so special is that each of the winemakers have a hand in creating a special varietal with Brendel. And to build out Brendel, because it's really made for the younger consumer, we have a Brendel wine bar that'll be opened across the street from the Archer Hotel in downtown Napa.
My name is Cassandra Felix, and I am the brand director of Brendel Wines. We are a brand new label that just launched in the spring. We are the newest winery under the Lawrence Wine Estates, which is Heights Cellars, Burgess Cellars, Stony Hill, and Ink Grade. Prior to joining the team here at Lawrence Wine Estates, I was a sommelier at a hotel in Palm Beach, Florida for a very long time. I managed a beverage program. And when COVID-19 hit, the hotel closed, and I decided to fulfill a lifelong dream of mine of working in production. So I moved to Napa to do a harvest internship in 2020 and decided to stay.
You know, Dream It, Live It is an initiative where we are bringing to light organizations to ensure they have a platform for their businesses. We've picked some initial partners that we're excited to work with, and one of them is Tish Around Town, Tish Wiggins. She's a small business founded and run by, of course, Tish Wiggins of Texas.
Hey, I'm Tish Wiggins, affectionately known as Tish Around Town. Tish Around Town is where basically food, wine, spirits, and travel meet. This particular project, the celebration of women in wine, is kind of been my baby for a little bit. I've always wanted to bring a group of people out to Napa, but I also wanted to be able to bring a group of people to celebrate women. In general, I think that women are sometimes unrepresented in the wine industry, and I want to be able to bring a light and be able to showcase and highlight their stories. I'm just really excited about that. We're bringing about 20 wine lovers and enthusiasts out. It'll actually take place at the end of March, which is also Women's History Month. So it's just a great way to be able to just celebrate women and just be able to also learn some of the stories, hear some of the stories firsthand. I'm excited about all of the experiences, but the regenerative experience is going to be great. Just that hands-on experience. How often can you come to Napa and really have a hands-on experience and really touch the soil and be able to hear directly from the winemaker, you know, why she's doing some of the things that she's doing from a regenerative farming perspective.
Megan Zobek, who's leading in regenerative farming for Burgess, so she's rebuilding a legacy. Burgess will be celebrating its 50th year next year. She's a badass. I mean, she is someone that will always take a risk, and she's a beautiful human being. She's someone that really believes in inclusivity and mentorship, and she's just diverse by nature. And she's also a wonderful winemaker, and we're very excited to taste her wines very soon.
So I actually switched careers to get into winemaking. I started as a contract negotiator for the Denver Broncos, and was helping with the salary cap. And then I went on a trip to Santa Barbara to go wine tasting. It was the first time that I had really taken wine seriously, or thought that it was more than just an alcoholic beverage. And met with a bunch of winemakers out there and just really started seeing that it's an international product. It's a really great way to connect with people. It brings people together, and it's agricultural. I think, you know, coming from the NFL, I came from a male-dominated industry and then came to wine, which at the time was also very male-dominated. I think there are a lot of women stepping up right now in the wine industry, which I love to see. Don't let anyone tell you shouldn't be here. There's absolutely a place for you. And just follow your heart, follow your dreams. There's a lot of young women getting into it right now that are just so impressive. And passion is what we need in this industry. So if you have a passion for it, go after it. The greatest thing about Domain Estates, we have really progressive leadership, which is so good to see. The decision makers not look like everyone else, not be kind of like your cookie cutter decision makers that, you know, maybe have come before. So they're welcoming a lot of people into the wine space that maybe have not felt welcome before. It's the community I want to be a part of. I don't want everyone to look like me in the wine industry. Like, what can you get out of that? So it makes me so happy to be working with people that are putting people first.
It's important to just be a support system for young women and to ensure that they can have the confidence and they can be fearless. And one thing I always say is if you're not invited to the table, you create the table yourself. You don't have to be invited anymore. That line means so much, but it's really to allow women to be successful. And everyone should want that, right? It shouldn't be it's not a trend. Everyone should want that because it's good business and it's important. And also we're all human beings. We have to treat people well and that's very important. And being able to lead with compassion and kindness and understanding in a diverse nature is extremely important to me.
Wow, what a team of inspirational women. If you're inspired by these stories and you'd like to know how you can experience what these wineries have to offer, Tina can tell you about some of the great gifts we have available. Tina?
Thanks, Karen. All right, so here is some explanation of some of the wonderful thank you gifts donated by these women in the wine industry from the wineries they work for or own. Give us a call after you see this video or go to norcalpublicmedia.org, click on Donate, and choose a gift for yourself. Take a look. Thank you for tuning in to Northern California Public Media and our Emmy Award-winning series, Bay Area Bountiful, made possible by the generous support of viewers like you. Just for NorCal Public Media viewers, donated by the wineries you are learning about today, incredible wine country experiences can be yours if you can make a donation today to support public media in the Bay Area. Call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate. Quantities of these great thank you gifts are limited, so call or go online right away if you'd like to receive them. At the $72 donor level, or make 12 payments of $6 a month, you can receive the Sonoma County Wine Growers Gift Package. The package includes a cap, a blanket, and 2 wine openers, all displaying the Sonoma County Wine Growers and sustainably farmed grapes artwork. Wear your pride of the fine wine growers and sustainable practices of our area. For a $120 pledge, 12 payments of just $10 a month, you can take your choice of a tasting experience at Dutton Goldfield Estate Winery or at Selby Winery. At Dutton Goldfield in western Sonoma County, the Discovery Seated Tasting Experience for 2 includes a selection of current release whites and reds or the single vineyard Pinot Noir experience. Or you might choose the Selby Winery Tasting for 2, hosted Thursdays through Mondays at their tasting room right off the square in beautiful downtown Healdsburg. If you can pledge $240 today, that's 12 payments of just $20 a month, you have the choice of 2 unique experiences for 4 guests. You can choose a tasting experience for 4 people at Brendel Napa Valley's new tasting room, located in downtown Napa for you and 3 guests. The tasting experience will be led by Estate Director and experienced sommelier Cassandra Felix. Also at the $240 pledge level, you can choose the Sabrage experience for 4 people at Breathless Sparkling Wine in Healdsburg. The traditional art of sabrage, using an authentic saber to open a bottle of sparkling wine, is a special ceremony you will love as much as the wines beautifully made in the traditional méthode champenoise style. And if you are able to pledge $360 today, that's 12 payments of $30 a month, you can choose the garden tour and tasting with winemaker Megan Zobek at Burgess Cellars in Napa. Enjoy a tour of the garden and learn about regenerative farming practices, followed by a tasting experience led by the winemaker for you and 3 guests. And one last, very special gift if you are able to pledge $840 today, 12 payments of $70 a month, you will receive a 6-month membership in the Brendel Napa Valley Brendel Block Wine Club. You'll receive all of their club member benefits, including 2 bottles of premium Napa Valley wine delivered to you each month. These are all great choices, but there's more. At every pledge level, whether you give $72 or you go all the way up and get that great wine club membership at the $840 level, we have a bonus gift for you. You will receive a 1-year subscription to PBS Passport streaming service. Stream your favorite PBS shows from Masterpiece, NewsHour, Finding Your Roots, and more, as well as original NorCal Public Media productions. Supplies are limited, and the first donors to call or pledge online will receive these gifts. So pledge now to get these great experiences. Choose some for yourself or get some for family and friends. Remember to call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation today, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate to learn more about these items and pledge your support. So there you go. Those are some wonderful experiences to take advantage of for yourself if you can donate today and donate more. Grab one for friends or family. You will be the hero of their lives if you give them a great experience like this. So that's it. Call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation, or go to norcalpublicmedia.org and click on Donate. Karen's back with another wonderful woman in the wine industry. Karen?
Thank you, Tina. We're now joined by Susie Selby, the owner and winemaker of Selby Winery, to tell us a little bit more about your pledge gift. Let me ask you, what are some of the wines that people can expect to experience at your winery?
Well, first of all, I'm delighted to give you all a pledge gift because I'm such a huge supporter of both public television and public radio. And what one can expect when they come to the Selby tasting room is we have a beautiful outdoor setting. Mm-hmm. And of course, this all started during the pandemic, but that's probably what we're going to do for the future because it's relaxed. It's downtown Healdsburg. We're half a block from the fabulous square. And typically we offer a selection of red wines, rosé, and white wines. Mm-hmm. So when somebody comes to the Selby tasting room, they would start with a Sauvignon Blanc, a Chardonnay, possibly a rosé, and I make a ridiculous amount of wines. One of the reasons I do that is because I'm the owner, the winemaker, and the national sales manager. So I tend to take advantage of any varietals I can find, and so I look for even eclectic varietals that we can have in the tasting room. So that makes it fairly unique. I'm very passionate about Pinot Noir, and I'm getting ready to release a brand new varietal called Carignan, which is not found very frequently. And I also have ventured into dessert wines. So
wonderful.
I have a port, and I just am about to release a wine called Fancy Nancy. It is a dessert wine.
Oh, that's wonderful. Wow, what a great selection of wines.
Well, it's fun. It's fun, for sure.
Well, thank you for your support of public broadcasting and for your pledge gift that you're offering, which is a tasting for two at your winery in Healdsburg. And now you said earlier about you being a winemaker and the owner, and there's a uniqueness to being the owner and the winemaker. Could you tell us more?
It is unusual for owners to be winemakers, and probably more unusual that I'm also the national sales manager. But it's nice because the benefit I have as the owner and the winemaker is that I can choose what I like to make. And I'm not making wine for other people. I'm making wine for myself. And I think that translates into wines that have more of an artistic bent to them. So instead of a marketing department telling me the style I should make, or a owner telling me what I should be doing, I really have the unique opportunity to be as creative as I would like, and to really try to source some interesting varietals from vineyards.
Well, I can see the passion as you're explaining all of the different wines and what you do. I definitely can see the passion in your eyes that you love what you do. You love being a winemaker, and I think that's really great.
Well, thank you, Karen. I do love it.
Yeah, so I understand that your wines have been served at the White House.
They have indeed, and one of the things that people really like to do when they come to Healdsburg is see all of my White House menus. I have quite a few. And the first administration to enjoy the wines were the Clintons, and then the Bushes enjoyed it quite a bit. And I do remember when the Obamas first got into office, the usher called me on my cell. I remember I was close to the Golden Gate Bridge and said, "Michelle just tasted your Sauvignon Blanc, and it is her new house white." And it was, and she really drank. They enjoyed it quite a bit.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So it's fun, and I proudly say that Selby is bipartisan. So yes, Republicans and Democrats, they all have enjoyed it. So
of course.
It's been a fun venture in that interesting people are enjoying the wines.
Yes. Well, Susie, thank you so much for joining us here today. We're so happy to have you and
Thank you.
Appreciate your gift today. Now we're going to take a deeper look at Susie and Selby Winery in this next story.
The White House usher, who's just a wonderful gentleman named Daniel Shanks, met me when I was working in the tasting room, and he told me he had his dream job in food and beverage. So he evidently came back, and I spent an hour and a half tasting wine with him. And he did invite me to the White House, but I had no idea why the White House was ordering my wines. He got hired by the Clintons, and then the Bushes ordered a lot of wine because I get the menus, and the Obamas. And he said that I had offered to show him about wines and teach him about wines. And he said, obviously, once you knew it was a dream job, you were excited enough about it to invite me back and share your passion with me. So he described it as an unsolicited act of hospitality. I really learned winemaking the old-fashioned way. I was in a complete apprenticeship environment. I was hired by a winery to work in the tasting room and to do their sales and marketing. And the tasting room so happened to be right by the warehouse at the winery. So back in the day, I used to have to call the guys. The winery was way up on a hill, and they'd have to come down. And I remember a truck driver showing up one day and saying, driving a forklift is not gender specific. I have 4 daughters, and if they would not go down a forklift because they're female, I would be furious. And I learned how to drive the forklift, and it turned out that I was really good at it. And I eventually was sent up to the winery to forklift barrels and became in charge of production over time. But it was a lot of very hard work. The person I worked for was a very, very hard worker, and I guess the best way to describe him, he not sexist at all, sort of a hippie type of person in a fabulous way. And he felt like if I could get the guys to respect me, then I could lead them, and he put me in charge. And I was the first one there in the morning, and I was the last one to leave at night. Sometimes I would work at night to filter wines and to take care of the wines, but I never missed a day of work, and I was completely reliable. And over time, the guys understood that I was working harder than them. And even to this day, my right-hand guy, his name is Enrique, we've been together for 18 years. And the good thing is that they know that I've done all the work, and I have that background with the guys in the cellar. And so it's advantageous because I know what they should be doing in the cellar. I would say to any young woman who is looking at a male-dominated industry, it's very important to remember 2 things. You're going to have to work harder, there's no question about it, and it's important to find a job that is not gender specific. I go back to my roots of driving a forklift, but it's the only key job in production that doesn't require a lot of physical strength. And I think women in the wine industry frequently get placed in lab jobs and other various jobs that don't require physical strength. But if you can find a role that makes you a key position, or at least puts you in a position where you can work up to a key position, then you seriously increase your chances of advancement and success within the industry. So this is one of my favorite White House menus. It's actually something that Michelle Obama did that featured female artists. And they included Sheryl Crow, Fran Drescher, Sarah Jones, and Alicia Keys. And they did serve Selby wines there. I have a congressional picnic over here. There was a baby shower once when the Bushes were there. And my first menu was from Bill Clinton, and that was for a reception for the head of the Philippines. So there have just been some. Tony Blair had Chardonnay, so there are fun things here, and it's, whites and reds.
From downtown Hillsburg, we travel west to Dry Creek Valley, where Lambert Bridge Winery has been making wine for 40 years and counting.
I've been in the business 26 years, so the journey has definitely taken a few steps and hops around. But born and raised in Sonoma County, Santa Rosa, which is fantastic. And so you kind of grow up around it. My family was not in wine, but I call my parents enthusiastic consumers. I love the science side of it. And so I have a degree in biochem from Davis, never took a wine class while at Davis. And then I moved to Italy for a couple years because I was poor and had no responsibilities. People always say, that's where you fell in love with wine. I think that's where I fell in love with wine and food and how they work well together. And then I came back, I was going to med school, and I ended up part-time at the tasting room at Simi Winery, just for the summer. And Zelma Long was the director of winemaking there, CEO and director of winemaking, and she basically ran the show. And she had this, well, if you meet Zelma ever, you'll know that there's a presence. She's iconic, and I call her the mentor of mentors. And she is the one that I attribute to just like changing my path hard left from medicine to winemaking. And then I got a job part-time, for Harvest in the lab at William Hill Winery. And I got to work with Jill Davis over there, another iconic woman in the business. I went over to Clos du Bois, worked with Margaret Davenport over there. And I've been here, this is my 12th harvest, with Lambert Bridge. It's female-owned. The senior management team is all women. It's the joy of harvest. It's the crazy time. And everybody, by that point, it's the tail end. You're exhausted. Your body is physically shot. And mentally, you're just barely going through the motions. If you don't like harvest and you're in the production business, production side of winemaking or of the wine business, it's you just get out of it because harvest is everything. That's the big show. Harvest is definitely the big show. I have an assistant winemaker, Katie, who has a 5-month-old, so she's juggling all that. And then we hired on interns. I'm hiring the best person. This year it just happened to be an all-women crew for the first time. And the support and the laughing and the stories and that went on during harvest really made it just a really fun time. And it was a fun vintage too. If you want to get in the wine business, it doesn't matter your age, even your physical ability, there is a place for you here. And it is the attitude, the work ethic, the attention to detail, and the desire to do something special. That is what I look for. I think for somebody who really wants to break into the business, you have to work a harvest. You have to work a harvest and production, and that will open the doors. Everybody at Harvest needs somebody that's willing to work hard to be in their cellar. So that's how you get in. I think that's a great way. Pay your dues. Don't expect it to just be handed to you. And yeah, but it's magical. It's great.
That was wonderful. Sonoma Wine Women Strong. If you're feeling inspired by these stories and interested in some amazing wine experiences, here's Tina Vieira to tell you about some of the gifts we have to offer. Tina?
Sonoma Wine Women are strong, and they're great at supporting public media. So there are wonderful experiences from several wineries that you can receive as a thank you gift for yourself, your mom, your dad, your friends. If you go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click on Donate, or call 1-800-287-2722, take a look at the experiences they've donated for you. Thank you for tuning in to Northern California Public Media and our Emmy Award-winning series, Bay Area Bountiful, made possible by the generous support of viewers like you. Just for NorCal Public Media viewers, Donated by the wineries you are learning about today, incredible wine country experiences can be yours if you can make a donation today to support public media in the Bay Area. Call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate. Quantities of these great thank you gifts are limited, so call or go online right away if you'd like to receive them. At the $72 donor level, or make 12 payments of $6 a month, you can receive the Sonoma County Wine Growers Gift Package. The package includes a cap, a blanket, and 2 wine openers, all displaying the Sonoma County Wine Growers and sustainably farmed grapes artwork. Wear your pride of the fine wine growers and sustainable practices of our area. For a $120 pledge, 12 payments of just $10 a month, you can take your choice of a tasting experience at Dutton Goldfield Estate Winery or at Selby Winery. At Dutton Goldfield in western Sonoma County, the Discovery Seated Tasting Experience for 2 includes a selection of current release whites and reds or the single vineyard Pinot Noir experience. Or you might choose the Selby Winery Tasting for 2, hosted Thursdays through Mondays at their tasting room right off the square in beautiful downtown Healdsburg. If you can pledge $240 today, that's 12 payments of just $20 a month, you have the choice of 2 unique experiences for 4 guests. You can choose a tasting experience for 4 people at Brendel Napa Valley's new tasting room, located in downtown Napa, for you and 3 guests. The tasting experience will be led by Estate Director and experienced sommelier Cassandra Felix. Also at the $240 pledge level, you can choose the Sabrage experience for 4 people at Breathless Sparkling Wine in Healdsburg. The traditional art of sabrage, using an authentic saber to open a bottle of sparkling wine, is a special ceremony you will love as much as the wines beautifully made in the traditional Méthode Champenoise style. And if you are able to pledge $360 today, that's 12 payments of $30 a month, you can choose the Garden Tour and Tasting with winemaker Megan Zobeck at Burgess Cellars in Napa. Enjoy a tour of the garden and learn about regenerative farming practices, followed by a tasting experience led by the winemaker for you and 3 guests. And one last, very special gift if you are able to pledge $840 today, 12 payments of $70 a month, you will receive a 6-month membership in the Brendel Napa Valley Brendel Block Wine Club. You'll receive all of their club member benefits, including 2 bottles of premium Napa Valley wine delivered to you each month. These are all great choices, but there's more. At every pledge level, whether you give $72 or you go all the way up and get that great wine club membership at the $840 level, we have a bonus gift for you. You will receive a 1-year subscription to PBS Passport streaming service. Stream your favorite PBS shows from Masterpiece, NewsHour, Finding Your Roots, and more, as well as original NorCal Public Media productions. Supplies are limited, and the first donors to call or pledge online will receive these gifts. So pledge now to get these great experiences. Choose some for yourself or get some for family and friends. Remember to call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation today, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate to learn more about these items and pledge your support. And that's what you can receive if you can make a donation today as low as $72. Some great items there as thank you gifts. All right, Karen is back with a sparkling guest this time. Let's see what they have to say. Hey, Karen.
Thanks, Tina. Now we're joined with Sharon Cohn, who is one of 3 sisters who started a sparkling wine business about 5 years ago, Breathless Sparkling Wines. Welcome, Sharon, to our show.
Thank you. Thanks for having us here.
Thank you so much for being here and for supporting public media. We really appreciate it. Sharon's going to be here to tell us a little bit more about her pledge gift. But before we get into that, Sharon, I wanted to ask you, so you're one of 3 sisters. How did the 3 of you come about to start this sparkling wine business?
We wanted to do something in honor of our mom for all the breathless moments that she created in our lives and to remind everyone to create those in their own. She was very much about celebration, and sparkling wine is just the perfect beverage, we believe, to go along with any celebration. But, back in the day when we were growing up, we did a lot of great hikes, and we would celebrate at the top of the hill or mountain. So just looking at things that you can celebrate every day, and there always is something, was really what she was about. She inspires us.
Oh, well, that's wonderful, wonderful. So now, Sharon, you're here to tell us about your pledge gift, a sabrage experience at your place of business. Please tell us more about that.
Of course. So we use an Italian saber and behead your champagne sparkling bottle that you choose. So you'll have a tasting first and go through the wines, decide which bottle you'd like, because once you do choose your wine and you do saber the bottle, you can't cork it again, so you've got to drink it.
Yes. That is lovely, such a lovely experience. Now, do you teach lessons, or does somebody do the...
We actually do. You will have all the safety gear. We use safety glasses and gloves, and we do a cooling of the bottle, making sure that the bubbles aren't going to fizz when you break it open, so you're not going to lose any of these bubbles. You're going to be able to enjoy every drop.
Oh my goodness, that is wonderful and very exciting. Thank you so much for bringing that gift to our viewers.
Of course. It's something that's really fun and really marks the day. It came about historically, Napoleon rode through the countryside, and the countrymen wanted him to stay and fight the battles that were brewing in their area. So they would always throw them a bottle of sparkling wine. He'd take a saber and behead it and start drinking it and throwing it in between all his men that were on horseback. So it was a very different experience than we offer at Breathless, but definitely pretty adventurous.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. So give me a little feel of what our viewers can experience when they come to your place of business. I understand that the design of the business was built out of shipping containers. Is that right?
It definitely was. The sisters went on a road trip one time, and we went down to Malibu Winery and saw shipping containers that were basically, they just flipped open the top and served right out of it. And even though it was 106, there's no air and no insulation in them, but we decided to really make it work for a tasting room inside and a nice garden area outside. So it worked out really well, especially during COVID. We could really welcome people into our area, but be outside at the same time.
Well, that sounds beautiful, and I'm sure our viewers will love to have that experience. I mean, it just sounds lovely, and so I do thank you so much. Now, before we let you go, you've been in the business for 5 years, and just give me a little bit about that experience. How's it been for those years, you and your sisters working together?
I really feel like this is, for me, it's my last chapter. I'm sister one of 3, which makes me the oldest. So working with my sisters has just been a joy. We all have our piece of the business that we really work, and so it doesn't feel like we're ever in each other's way, and we're always just supporting each other and making it work.
Yeah, okay. Well, is one of those sisters the winemaker? Like, who's the winemaker there? Who handles that?
Well, she's our adopted sister, Penny Gag-Coster. She's amazing. She started off at Jordan and then moved to Jay, and then works also in conjunction with us with another business called Rack and Riddle that my sister, Rebecca, sister 2 of 3, has with her partner. And so it just made it the perfect opportunity for us to be able to start making those sparkling wines, which she's so very, very good at.
Oh, well, that's just very great and wonderful, and I just love, sparkling wine, and that's so gracious of you to offer that experience to our pledge viewers. And thank you so much, Sharon, for coming out tonight and just offering this experience to our viewers. We really appreciate the support.
It's our pleasure, and we appreciate everything you're doing in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Now let's learn more about Sharon and her sister's work at Breathless in this next story. Take a look.
So starting Breathless was really all about our mom and how she created breathless moments in our lives. And in the end, she passed from a disease called alpha-1, which is a lung disease, very rare, genetic, and none of us are afflicted with it, but watching her go from such a vibrant, amazing, athletic woman to being breathless was very, very difficult for us. But even going through that process, she never took a day for granted. She never took a breath for granted. And so that inspires us every day.
Every day. And I think we try to do that every day. Yeah. I mean, life is to have fun and share, and you know, otherwise, why do you want to be here?
Napoleon's saying was, in victory or in defeat, one always needs champagne, and we totally agree. He would take a saber off the side and break open the bottle. It's really fun, and there's a lot of pressure inside this bottle, which makes it a little bit easier, but you know, it takes some finesse. Safety first, always. You just gently and follow through and just kind of kick it at the end. You got this.
Thank you.
All right, I'm standing back.
Are we ready?
All right, everybody safe.
I had a conversation with somebody the other day, and they said, gosh, you know, I never thought about having sparkling all day long. Mm-hmm. And I thought, why wouldn't you? Yeah. Because that's part of what really makes every day special are things like sparkling wine, mm-hmm. And good food and good friends and family, and wow.
Yeah, certainly after the past couple of years, I think everyone's appreciating their time, and they're appreciating the people around them, and just being grateful for what you have, you know, not looking for much more, just being really grateful for what you have.
For me, I became the winemaker. Rebecca Faust, Rebecca came in and said, gee, you know, we're starting this project, and we'd like you to be the winemaker. What do you think? And I said, sure. Why wouldn't I? So with that, being a part of this, you know, amazing family, and they kind of took me in and made me one of theirs, and here we are.
She's really our adopted sister. Her first vocation in love was nursing and being an emergency room nurse. So she followed her heart.
Medicine is very male-dominated. Winemaking as well. I kind of started out in the lab and was really told that was as far as I was ever going to get, was being a lab manager. You know, I remember being told, no, I wasn't strong enough. You know, I mean, we have little teeny-weeny women out there, and they're running circles around a lot of the men out there. And a lot of that is just the passion that we have for what we're doing. But we have a passion to do this work, and a real aptitude, I feel like, to do the work as well. Yeah, I was told I would never be a winemaker. It would just never happen. And you know, when I became the executive director of winemaking for a winery for Rack and Riddle, I mean, it doesn't get much better than that. You can't go much farther than that.
From the sparkling town of Hillsburg, we are heading for the border, the Sonoma-Napa border, at 2,000 feet atop the Mayacamas mountain range, where Sally Johnson is making wine, bridging two counties.
We have such a unique property here at Pride. We are right at the summit of Spring Mountain in the Mayacamas mountain range, and our property spans the Napa and Sonoma County lines. So the county line goes straight through the middle of our property, and we have two separate bonded wineries, one in St. Helena in Napa Valley and one in Santa Rosa in Sonoma County. So this is our white wing of our cave. We have about 20,000 square feet of caves. And we use this area for our whites because it's chilled. We can keep the fermentations nice and slow and cool. With our Viognier, we use neutral barrels, so they've been used 5 to 8 times prior to their use in Viognier. We've used them for Chardonnay. We want to remove all of the oaky character, but we still want to get the texture of a barrel fermentation. So the lees, which is the dead yeast, as the wine is clarifying, they're settling down to the bottom, and then as we stir it, the yeast cells are breaking open and they're releasing manoproteins and polysaccharides, things that contribute to a texture of thickness. Adding that richness to the mid-palate is really key for getting the amazing texture that will offset that little bit of grip. So then we'll just check the bricks of this. And once again, it's nearly finished, so it should be fairly low. And then I always taste them each time. Chemistry is important in winemaking, but it really is all about how it tastes. Yeah, and that texture is starting to build. It's getting that silkiness. Very nice.
I also did a study abroad year. I also fell in love with French wine, of course, and French food and cheese, and but also spent a lot of time on a tiny little farm in France, and I did the vendange, and I harvest. And their memory of me was that I did the entire grape harvest in my bare feet, and that was back in the day where you actually put them into the basket on your back, and then went to the end of the row and tipped your basket into the and then. So that was really so much fun, and that tiny little farm made their own champagne. So I used to come home from France with bottles of champagne in my luggage.
That's awesome.
Which was so much fun.
That's amazing.
How did you get into wine, Johanna?
Oh gosh, well, I worked in restaurants to put myself through school. I didn't actually, like a lot of people, I didn't plan on getting into the wine business. I wanted to go to grad school and study economics and business, and thought I should get some business experience before that, and took a wine sales job, and that was 17 years ago.
Wow.
Sally, you've been here for 15 years.
I've been at Pride for 15 years. When I was starting out in my career, I was offered jobs in the lab and offered more kind of like the desk work. And in order to be qualified to be a winemaker, I had to seek out more the production jobs, the very hands-on jobs, because if you don't develop those skills, then you're not going to really understand the full process. And I think it's really easy for women to get pigeonholed into what people perceive of as like kind of the cleaner jobs and the neater jobs.
The typist.
Yeah, exactly.
The secretary.
Yeah.
Totally.
So I think just being willing to go out and do any job that needs to be done is really important. And I think that working with great winemakers, it's still really a career where there is sort of like a mentorship aspect to it, you know, so to build that toolkit with different techniques that you would use and to experience a lot of different situations, different regions of the country and the world, I think, you know, there's nothing that women can't do, but you do have to want to do all of it too.
Yeah. So. One of the things that I really love from the wholesale side of things is the camaraderie amongst women, and how we all really work to lift each other up and mentor and reinforce the positive opportunities and shared experiences among the group.
Cheers, ladies.
Cheers. It's a beautiful day.
Yes, it is.
That was great. The way they cut that top off of that wine bottle was so impressive. If you've been enjoying the stories in our program tonight, then you'll definitely want to hear more about the wine experiences that we have to offer. Here's Tina Vieira to tell you more about those gifts. Tina?
Wonderful wineries in our area, Napa and Sonoma County, and they've donated wonderful gifts for you to thank you if you can make a donation to NorCal Public Media today. Go to norcalpublicmedia.org and click on Donate. Call us at 1-800-287-2722. Take a look at this video to see all the great gifts they've donated. Thank you for tuning in to Northern California Public Media and our Emmy Award-winning series, Bay Area Bountiful, made possible by the generous support of viewers like you. Just for NorCal Public Media viewers, donated by the wineries you are learning about today, incredible wine country experiences can be yours if you can make a donation today to support public media in the Bay Area. Call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate. Quantities of these great thank you gifts are limited, so call or go online right away if you'd like to receive them. At the $72 donor level, or make 12 payments of $6 a month, you can receive the Sonoma County Wine Growers Gift Package. The package includes a cap, a blanket, and 2 wine openers, all displaying the Sonoma County wine growers and sustainably farmed grapes artwork. Wear your pride of the fine wine growers and sustainable practices of our area. For a $120 pledge, 12 payments of just $10 a month, you can take your choice of a tasting experience at Dutton Goldfield Estate Winery or at Selby Winery. At Dutton Goldfield in western Sonoma County, the Discovery Seated Tasting Experience for 2 includes a selection of current release whites and reds or the single vineyard Pinot Noir experience. Or you might choose the Selby Winery Tasting for 2, hosted Thursdays through Mondays at their tasting room right off the square in beautiful downtown Healdsburg. If you can pledge $240 today, that's 12 payments of just $20 a month, you have the choice of 2 unique experiences for 4 guests. You can choose a tasting experience for 4 people at Brendel Napa Valley's new tasting room, located in downtown Napa for you and 3 guests. The tasting experience will be led by Estate Director and experienced sommelier Cassandra Felix. Also at the $240 pledge level, you can choose the Sabrage experience for 4 people at Breathless Sparkling Wine in Healdsburg. The traditional art of sabrage, using an authentic saber to open a bottle of sparkling wine, is a special ceremony you will love as much as the wines beautifully made in the traditional méthode champenoise style. And if you are able to pledge $360 today, that's 12 payments of $30 a month, you can choose the Garden Tour and Tasting with winemaker Megan Zobeck at Burgess Cellars in Napa. Enjoy a tour of the garden and learn about regenerative farming practices, followed by a tasting experience led by the winemaker for you and 3 guests. And one last, very special gift if you are able to pledge $840 today, 12 payments of $70 a month, you will receive a 6-month membership in the Brendel Napa Valley Brendel Block Wine Club. You'll receive all of their club member benefits, including 2 bottles of premium Napa Valley wine delivered to you each month. These are all great choices, but there's more. At every pledge level, whether you give $72 or you go all the way up and get that great wine club membership at the $840 level, we have a bonus gift for you. You will receive a 1-year subscription to PBS Passport streaming service. Stream your favorite PBS shows from Masterpiece, NewsHour, Finding Your Roots, and more, as well as original NorCal Public Media productions. Supplies are limited, and the first donors to call or pledge online will receive these gifts. So pledge now to get these great experiences. Choose some for yourself or get some for family and friends. Remember to call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation today, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate to learn more about these items and pledge your support. All right, so those are some of the great gifts and experiences you can enjoy if you can make a donation today. Karen is back. Wine growing is as important as wine making, and she can tell you more about that with her new guest. Karen?
Thank you, Tina. Now we're joined with Carissa Cruz, who's the president of the Sonoma County Wine Growers, and she's here to tell us more about her gifts. Carissa knows a lot about growing wine sustainably in Sonoma County. Carissa, welcome to the show.
Karen, thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. Not only are we celebrating sustainability, but actually I'm really excited to celebrate our local public media. I have to say, I think it's so important for all of us locally and in the community in the North Bay to have a place to tell our story and to connect locally. And so I was honored to be invited and really happy to support this because I think I just know how much it means to our local community to have you in our backyard.
Well, thank you so much. We're delighted to have you here. Thank you. And I understand you brought us some nice pledge gifts.
I did.
You want to tell us a little
these
bit?
are custom pledge gifts. You can't buy these, so super special. But we're celebrating sustainability, and I work for the 1,800 grape growers in Sonoma County. So part of our big sustainability, I'm just going to go ahead and put on this fancy hat here, showcasing our sustainably farmed grapes. So a lot of our farmers have this hat, so you can be as cool as our local farmers if you take this pledge gift. So one of our hats.
Awesome.
And then we also, I mean, if you're here and you're watching about wine and grape growing, you probably love wine. So we have our branded Sonoma County Wine Growers Corkscrew. It's a special pull taps one, so this is a good quality. It's not one of those cheap ones. It's a good quality one. And green, of course, for sustainability. And then our third gift, and so I know, right? So I made these because I love a good blanket, and again, sporting our sustainability logo. But we're entering, the winter season, so I'm picturing sitting around a little fireplace and snuggled up in your blanket and also celebrating sustainability with the wine, right? So you should actually pledge a number of times and get all the gifts.
Yes, absolutely.
And then the final, which I don't have the certificate, but we should be actually drinking the wine because that's the best way to show it. So, but we're actually also giving 5 tastings for 2 people at Dutton Goldfield Winery. So seated tastings. So, you have the wine opener, you have the fancy hat, you got your blanket, and then you can go enjoy our local wine.
That is wonderful. Thank you so much for those lovely gifts.
You're welcome. I'm excited to share that.
Yeah, so as president of the wine grower industry, tell us just a little bit about what your job details.
Yeah, so I do a lot. I break it down into 2 things. I do a lot to promote Sonoma County as a world-class wine region. Super fun, part of my job. But probably the more important part of my job is really ensuring how we preserve local agriculture. So day in and day out, which is why sustainability is such an important thing for us and our local farmers. And also thinking about the next generation of farming and farmers here.
Okay. And I understand that you have a mentorship program for young women in the wine industry.
This is one of my favorite new things. So we just announced this. We have this great new partnership. A name probably a lot of people know in our community, Judy Jordan. She started J Winery. But after J Winery, she actually wanted to do something really to give back to the community. And she had a vision for creating a mentorship program for young women to go into ag, any ag, not just wine, but any ag or also the wine business. And so she created, it's called WG Edge. And then she came to us in our foundation. So my other hat, literally, that I wear is running our Grape Growers Foundation. She came to us to be her kind of long-term partner to help grow and make this mentoring program even more impactful in the future.
Oh, that's awesome. So is that a mentorship program that's just starting, it's just beginning, or how can people?
Yeah, so it's been around for a couple of years, and as our partnership, we're hoping to really sort of increase the impact and the outreach around it. So she started slowly to really learn the model. It includes a scholarship to support young women going to the Santa Rosa Junior College. It actually gives them money for housing and books, so it's not just the classes, so that way they can actually take some time to go out and meet and network and take internships and have the time to do that. And then it really wraps them around with resources and a network of women leaders in the community, especially in ag and wine, that they can learn from. So it's kind of a holistic support program.
Oh, that is wonderful. Well, you've just given us a bounty of information. I'm so excited for you to be here. And thank you so much for joining us
Absolutely. Thank you for everything you do. We so appreciate it.
Thank you, Carissa. Our last story tonight features sustainable growers in Sonoma County and beyond. Take a look.
The Grape Growers Foundation was actually relaunched in 2016. It was really inspired to really support our ag community and our vineyard workers and their families. But the program I'm most excited about is we actually recognize our vineyard workers every month. So this is really our Vineyard Worker Wall of Fame, Hall of Fame. Every month, our local farmers get to nominate one of their vineyard employees in different categories to receive our vineyard employee recognition. And we put their pictures up on our wall, and they actually stay up year-round. We just celebrated our whole annual, all the employees of the year came. They actually came to our office. They were able to invite their families as well as their employers to see them kind of come up and be honored, get a plaque. They get a $500 gift card. And then Congressman Thompson actually helped us name our Employee of the Year. And I think what was so fun is they didn't realize that we had their pictures on our wall. And so they stood up with their family, and you could just see them pointing to their kids or their parents or their spouse, like that's where I'm at on the wall, and they didn't even know it. And so I think just to see how proud they were of the fact that they were being honored and recognized for what they do, and it seems like such a simple thing, but actually just brings so much support and so much satisfaction, and I love it. It's actually the favorite thing I've worked on. Back in 2014, our grape growers here, we have about 1,800 local grape growers in Sonoma County. They made sort of a really big commitment. It's back before the word sustainable was really in vogue. I think now we hear it over and over again, which is great. I mean, I think it's a positive movement, not just for wine and agriculture, but just across the world. But we made a big commitment to be 100% certified sustainable in all of our vineyards. It's about really, minimizing your impact on the environment. It's about ensuring you have a viable business year after year, especially for our multi-generational family farmers. So I think for all of our grape growers, the foundation's sustainability, and now we're moving more and more to say, how do we be part of the solution for this global climate crisis we're in? And I now have a whole team of women working with me, and they're amazing, and it's fun to sort of bring up the next generation. It's so amazing to work with these incredible women. We get to work together every day. We get to spend time thinking about, how we preserve local agriculture, support our farmers, and promote our region. And pretty fun to be able to do that with women that I respect and who really care about what they do. Taylor's actually one of my board members. I love it. She's a young woman in agriculture and really leading, and I think such a great role model and example for not just women, but for farming. They farm primarily wine grapes, but she also, up in Mendocino County, is in charge of the blueberry harvest. So she's a diversified agriculturalist herself. They have been both a real big proponent of both sustainability and also part of our climate adaptation certification partnership.
We are currently on the old railroad tracks that ran through Sonoma Valley. And this is, to this day, when we're referencing different parts of the ranch and everything, this is the railroad tracks. So this is Saris Ranch. We're in the heart of Sonoma Valley. We have been here for almost 100 years. Well, we've been on the property for longer than 100 years, but officially Saris Ranch in 1924. I'm 5th generation. My nephews and nieces are 6th generation on this family ranch. And so being environmentally friendly and aware of our surroundings and our habitat for not only us, but for our vineyards, for the wildlife is very important. So we were one of the first, one of the top 20 vineyard locations that were chosen in Sonoma County for the climate adaptation certification. And so with that program, they came out, Laurel Marcus with Fish Friendly Farming came out and ran through all of our farming practices, what we do, what we don't do, maybe things that we could adjust to make us a little bit more climate friendly. And it's all based off of carbon sequestration. One of the nice things about our property, as you can see, these good old oak trees right here, we have hundreds of them on the property. So for that reason, we were able to be one of the top vineyard locations for the amount of carbon that we actually sequestered. Our wine label is new. We actually came out with our first vintage, and it was a 2018 vintage, released October of this year. So we're really excited about that. That's a program that my brothers, John and Buck, and I, the 5th generation, has started. The reason that we did this wine is because we want to show the quality of wine that can come from the grapes on our property. So kind of taking out that middleman and showing that, Sonoma Valley, we've been here for generations. We're here to stay. We want to produce the best that we possibly can with our name on it for consumers around the world. I currently am the sustainability chair for the Wine Growers Board. And the one thing that was always the reoccurring theme was, you're already sustainable, it's just a matter of putting it down on paper. We didn't have to necessarily change any of the farming practices. It was just a matter of the type of record keeping that had to be taken place. It's one of those things it's very important all the time, creating the habitat for, us, the animals, wildlife, and just the aesthetic views of living somewhere where we want to live, and you're not ashamed of it.
Our final winemaker works across all of California, making 500,000 cases of wine a year. Her team is dedicated to sustainably farming throughout the state.
Here at Susquehanna Mountain Vineyard, It is, the whole property is over 2,000 acres, but only about 10% of it is planted to vineyards. And we really see, our most important job is to, live lightly on the land here and make sure that we're leaving it, a better place than it was. I come from a farming family, citrus ranching, avocados, and then beef cattle. I grew up in Santa Barbara County, so I grew up knowing that there was a wine industry and that presumably one could have a full-time job making wine, right? When I was a child, one time we did a tour at Firestone Vineyard. This is down in the San Ynez Valley area, and I got to meet the winemaker, and her name was Allison. I didn't know anything about the wine business being supposedly male-dominated. My first winemaker I ever met was a woman and had my own name, so immediately I knew that it was a career possibility, right? There is something so powerful in seeing yourself in somebody that you look up to or that you admire. Whether you're gay, whether you're a person of color, whether you're a woman. And for me, as a young girl, being able to see that, I really think that had a lot to do with me considering from day one that I even could be a winemaker. Advice I would give people is, think about where you want to go and the kinds of wineries that you might want to work for, and really make a point of getting there and doing that work and finding that place. 15 years ago, if you had told me that I'd be doing what I am doing now, 500,000 cases, making wine for retailers and folks all over the world, I would have said you're crazy. Because this is not the traditional way that you think that you're going to be a winemaker when you're a student at UC Davis, or when you have those first winemaker stars in your eyes after your first harvest.
Allison spends a lot of her time in the vineyard, paying close attention to her fruit as it ripens. But after harvest, it's time to taste and blend with help from her associate, Stacy Vogel.
I always just say, my goal is to maximize deliciousness. That's my job, and that's our job. Yeah. And it's really fun to make wine with someone like Stacy, who has a great palate, who likes to cook, who likes to eat well. We have fun talking about food and recipes and how you're making a Thai dish or Indian food, and how you would use cilantro, or not in your case. Yeah. For the layperson, that's how we look at blending and winemaking is, I'm gonna just put a little dab of hot sauce in my chicken soup. Well, that's what I just did, putting a little Petit Sirah into the Oak Knoll Cab, and it adds complexity. It adds that little extra something. With blending, you're not trying to fix things. You're trying to add. You're trying to elevate, add layers. Yeah. You're trying to elevate. Exactly. Oh man, fun.
Delicious, huh?
Yeah.
It's so nice to see that vineyards in our region are making an effort to take care of the environment. Now, before the end of our program tonight, we'd like to make sure you know about the wine experiences we have to offer you, and Tina can tell you more about that. Tina?
Growing wonderful grapes sustainably, making incredible wine, organically and every other way, such good stuff. These women in the wine industry have given us some great gifts. You have a few more minutes to give us a call, 1-800-287-2722, and make a donation and receive a great thank you gift from the wine industry. Or go to norcalpublicmedia.org and click on Donate. Take a look at these great gifts one more time. Thank you for tuning in to Northern California Public Media and our Emmy Award-winning series, Bay Area Bountiful, made possible by the generous support of viewers like you. Just for NorCal Public Media viewers, donated by the wineries you are learning about today, incredible wine country experiences can be yours if you can make a donation today to support public media in the Bay Area. Call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate. Quantities of these great thank you gifts are limited, so call or go online right away if you'd like to receive them. At the $72 donor level, or make 12 payments of $6 a month, you can receive the Sonoma County Wine Growers Gift Package. The package includes a cap, a blanket, and 2 wine openers, all displaying the Sonoma County Wine Growers and Sustainably Farmed Grapes artwork. Wear your pride of the fine wine growers and sustainable practices of our area. For a $120 pledge, 12 payments of just $10 a month, you can take your choice of a tasting experience at Dutton Goldfield Estate Winery or at Selby Winery. At Dutton Goldfield in western Sonoma County, the Discovery Seated Tasting Experience for Two includes a selection of current release whites and reds or the single vineyard Pinot Noir experience. Or you might choose the Selby Winery Tasting for Two, hosted Thursdays through Mondays at their tasting room right off the square in beautiful downtown Healdsburg. If you can pledge $240 today, that's 12 payments of just $20 a month, you have the choice of 2 unique experiences for 4 guests. You can choose a tasting experience for 4 people at Brendel Napa Valley's new tasting room, located in downtown Napa, for you and 3 guests. The tasting experience will be led by Estate Director and experienced sommelier Cassandra Felix. Also at the $240 pledge level, you can choose the Sabrage experience for 4 people at Breathless Sparkling Wine in Healdsburg. The traditional art of sabrage, using an authentic saber to open a bottle of sparkling wine, is a special ceremony you will love as much as the wines beautifully made in the traditional méthode champenoise style. And if you are able to pledge $360 today, that's 12 payments of $30 a month, you can choose the garden tour and tasting with winemaker Megan Zobeck at Burgess Cellars in Napa. Enjoy a tour of the garden and learn about regenerative farming practices, followed by a tasting experience led by the winemaker for you and 3 guests. And one last, very special gift if you are able to pledge $840 today, 12 payments of $70 a month, you will receive a 6-month membership in the Brendel Napa Valley Brendel Block Wine Club. You'll receive all of their club member benefits, including 2 bottles of premium Napa Valley wine delivered to you each month. These are all great choices, but there's more. At every pledge level, whether you give $72 or you go all the way up and get that great wine club membership at the $840 level, we have a bonus gift for you. You will receive a 1-year subscription to PBS Passport streaming service. Stream your favorite PBS shows from Masterpiece, NewsHour, Finding Your Roots, and more, as well as original NorCal Public Media productions. Supplies are limited, and the first donors to call or pledge online will receive these gifts. So pledge now to get these great experiences. Choose some for yourself or get some for family and friends. Remember to call 1-800-287-2722 to make a donation today, or go online to norcalpublicmedia.org and click Donate to learn more about these items and pledge your support. Well, there you are. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Our wonderful series, Bay Area Bountiful, and these incredible stories of women in the wine industry. And give us a call if you can still make a donation today, 1-800-287-2722. Karen, it's been a wonderful experience learning about all of these women in the wine industry.
Thank you, Tina. And thank you, our viewers, for joining us on this very special Bay Area Bountiful episode celebrating women in wine. We truly appreciate your continued support of Northern California Public Media. We couldn't produce this unique local Bay Area content without you. Cheers!